Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to our next episode of SWE Mayhem. Again, another action-packed show booked for you exclusively by PJ Tovey. And we do have some more debuts to Mayhem here this evening from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Got that right, I think. And here we go then, opening match of the evening, and our first debut of the evening as well. We're going to start things off, though, with the Wolves. Of course, this is going to be Eddie Edwards in single action. Of course, Dave Richards had a bit of singles action last week when he faced off against the debuting Chris Benoit. And now Eddie Edwards gets a chance to bring somebody into this roster as well. Now, this person who's going to be debuting has been requested quite a lot, and especially recently as well, as recent as a couple of days ago, actually, by Morgan Moore, requested this person to be added to the Carnage roster. But PJ Tovey, I had this guy on the Carnage roster, but PJ Tovey, once he saw his name on the list, dibbed him straight away and brought him over to Mayhem. And of course, that man is going to be Combat Zone Wrestling Zone, former NXT man, trained by DJ Hyde, Sami Callihan. He's been requested a lot, and he's finally here in SWE. I did really want to bring him in. He's one of my favourite indie wrestlers at the moment anyway. Well, he has been one of my favourite indie wrestlers for as long as I've been watching indie wrestling. But unfortunately, I've never been able to find an outstanding version of his core. This isn't bad. It's not great at the same time, but it's not a bad one at all. I think his face is still a little bit out, but it's Sami freaking Callihan. You can't not have him in your team, really, can you? You just can't not have him in that team. In that team? On the roster. You can't not have him on the... You know what I mean. You know what I mean. SWE needs the craziness that is Sami Callihan. And I think Eddie Edwards is about to feel that craziness right now. So Eddie Edwards takes on Sami Callihan in Callihan's debut here in SWE. The bell goes and we are underway. Callihan now so wrenching back at Eddie Edwards and takes him down. Now, yeah, Callihan was originally scheduled to be on the Carnage roster, like I said, but PJ Tovey was desperate to have him on here. And I did have him as a plan for Carnage to be alongside Dean Ambrose, of course, as the Switchblade Conspiracy, the old tag team from Combat Zone Wrestling. But I like this. I think PJ Tovey has some big plans for Sami Callihan in this roster, actually, and I'm hoping that if he can pull off a good start here, Sami, then you never know what sort of heights he might be able to get himself up to. Now, it doesn't really suit the rest of the Mayhem roster. The way PJ Tovey's got it, it's quite an old-fashioned roster. It's quite sort of 90s through to Attitude Era roster. But Sami does give that youthful exuberance to the roster that I think that PJ Tovey does need. Another big splash there by Sami on Eddie Edwards, and Sami is in full control at this point in time. Big splash once again by Sami. He's really rocking those splashes. Now into a flapjack, and Sami is in full control here this evening. Absolutely amazing. And what else we got for you this evening? We've got a tag team match coming up next. The Club take on Dynasty. We've got a women's match later on as well, as Ivelisse takes on Cherry Bomb. Finn Balor takes on the debuting Rey Mysterio. Now, we announced that trade a couple of weeks ago. Rey switching over to this roster in place of... Who was it? Who did we take? Kota Ibushi, I think it was. So Rey makes his debut here this evening against Finn Balor. Then in our main event, we are going to see John Cena taking on a big debuting name, a main eventer. Somebody who I think is, again, going to add a lot of strength to our main event picture. And somebody who... no, I'm not going to say. I was going to say something then, but it would have made it a little bit obvious. Maybe who it was. But somebody who would definitely be in our universe mode for 2K18, I think, is safe to say. Eddie Edwards now slamming the knee of Sami Callihan into the mat, bringing Sami up to his feet. Back into the ring, and Edwards now in control of this match. Can he stay in control of the match? That is the question. Lion salt by Eddie Edwards on Sami Callihan. And went for the springboard splash once again, but Callihan rolled out the way. Callihan, of course, does like to utilise the stretch muffler as a finisher manoeuvre. So he's going to have to try and work those legs as much as he possibly can to try and create that pain threshold that he needs to get the submission from Eddie Edwards. But it's going to be a tricky one, isn't it? Submissions are good on this game, but at the same time, it's very rare for someone to get a submission victory on their first attempt. Normally they have to lock in their submission 2 or 3 times, unless they have done sufficient damage to that area of the body. Eddie Edwards now with a backbreaker on Sami Callihan. There's the pin. 1, 2, only a 2 count. So we've had a couple of dark matches here this evening as well. We've had a women's triple threat match where Trish Stratus defeated Mickie James and Alundra Blaze. And believe it or not, I can't believe this for myself, Albert has defeated the Ultimate Warrior in a dark match. Yeah, answers on a postcard for that one. Answers on a freaking postcard. I can't even... I just can't even. Callihan with the drop kick right to the face of Eddie Edwards. Now Callihan hoisted Edwards up into a deadlift German suplex. Callihan gets caught with a jawbreaker by Eddie Edwards. A boot in the calf, and then nice shining wizard by Eddie Edwards on Sami Callihan. Now it's Edwards who is working on the knee of Callihan. You'd sort of think that would be the other way around, wouldn't you, really? Edwards now dragging Callihan into the middle of the ring, now dropping a fist right in the face. And there's the elbows into the shoulder of Callihan as well. And as this match has gone on, Edwards has got more and more and more into this one. I think Callihan has struggled a little bit as Edwards catching Callihan with a Rough Rider. Yep, less said about that the better. 2. And Eddie Edwards is victorious. And Sami Callihan loses his debut match here in the SWE. That's not good, is it? Not good at all. I was going to give PJ a little bit of something to think about as well, because I think he's still hot on Callihan. I think he'll want to push Callihan to do something a little bit better, but maybe Edwards deserves something maybe a little bit better as well. That's a big win there for Eddie Edwards. I'm a little bit surprised because I thought Callihan dominated a large portion of the match, really, and it was a little bit of a surprise to me that he was able to turn it around and get to where he did. But there you go. Eddie Edwards there with a step up Enziguri, the knee to the side. It's a Shining Wizard, not step up Enziguri. Then into the Rough Rider. And Edwards with a pin. That's pretty big. Pretty damn big. Eddie Edwards with the big victory. I think, so I say, David Richards didn't get a singles victory. So Eddie Edwards is the first person to get a singles victory, I think, out of that tag team. And that's definitely going to help him out. And it's going to put him higher than his teammates in the rankings as well, of course. So Eddie Edwards victorious, and Sami Callihan needs to rethink about his situation and come back bigger and stronger for the next match. Talking of the next match, as promised, it is going to be Dynasty taking on the Club. And here we go then. So an interesting tag team match, this one. Dynasty's actually been doing pretty well so far in this universe mode. They've not really had a massive opportunity so far though, but this could be their big one. Facing off against a team like Club could really help them out here. But of course they need to win it, don't they? Club, Gallows and Anderson have never really done fantastically well, have they? They've always been very up and down in this universe mode, and I really want them to sort of settle down and become the strong dominant team they were in New Japan. And that's the same thing with WWE and not using them well, in my opinion, I don't think. I think that I really want to see WWE start to use the Club, because you look at what's happened then. They brought these people in. AJ Styles is getting a decent run at the moment. Of course, he's been the champion of a bit back to front, eh? He's been the champion of SmackDown. He's been the United States champion as well. So it's a little bit up and down at the moment, really. But I'd love to see him do. I'd love to see him do a little bit more, really. And the same with the Club. These two guys have come in. I think they've held the tag team championships once since they came in. And I don't know how they feel about their situation. I know the pair of them do love their money, so I'm pretty sure they're happy. But I would imagine they'd love to be utilised a little bit better, and they should be. They're one of the best tag teams in the world when they came to WWE, so why are they not being used that way? I feel like the Club should be dominant, and I would love to see the Club move to SmackDown, because I think it's the sort of team that SmackDown need now, is a dominant team, and they could even join back up with AJ Styles. Because even as a face, I think these two guys with AJ Styles as a face could dominate, really dominate SmackDown. They really could, and it would be fantastic as well. Can you imagine the sort of storylines you could have with imagine the sort of storylines you could have with these three guys as faces. Carl Anderson there rocking the AJ Styles roll of that entrance. It's still so great to see these two guys in a WWE ring again. Of course, we've seen Luke Gallows in a WWE ring before, but Carl Anderson has deserved this. He's had a very storied career, a career full of a lot of great matches for him, and not just as a tag team, as singles competitor as well. He had some really good matches in the G1 Climax Festival over the last few years, and I like that. I think he's a fantastic wrestler, and I want to see more, like I said, from these two guys. Finn's finally getting a bit of a run now. Of course, his injury really halted him a little bit. Nakamura's really struggling, I think, on SmackDown. Mainly because he's not being utilised correctly, in my opinion. I think Nakamura should be a little bit more than just this guy who goes around and faces against Baron Corbin every bloody week. Do something with him. Give him something special. Give him something special. That's what he deserves. And I just hope we're gonna get AJ versus Nakamura at some point. I hope they save it for Mania, but I've got a feeling it could end up being SummerSlam. We'll wait to see what happens. Depending on, of course, I'm recording this a little bit ahead of time, as I always do, to make sure it gets edited and uploaded on time for you guys. So I'm actually recording this before SmackDown's been on, and I know it is John Cena versus Nakamura in a #1 contendership match. So if, for example, Nakamura has not won, then there's a potential that the Nakamura AJ Styles match could happen. It's a little bit funny at the moment because obviously with Kevin Owens being the United States champion, he's still the United States champion, isn't he? Yeah, he won it back, didn't he? With Kevin Owens being the United States champion and AJ Styles been against him for a while, it's just sort of tricky. You think that if it goes into SummerSlam, you can't see anything else but another AJ Styles Kevin Owens match at the moment. So maybe having AJ versus Nakamura for the United States Championship would be pretty good. But I'd say I just really wanted to save that match. I think Styles versus Nakamura potentially for the SmackDown Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania would be incredible. If given the right amount of time, that match should main event WrestleMania, in my opinion. AJ to win the belt at Royal Rumble, Nakamura to win the Rumble, it'd just be a dream come true, I think. And this match at SummerSlam for Raw is incredible. I am so hyped. I've never looked forward to a WWE match so much as what I am looking forward to Lesnar, Strowman, Joe and Reigns. That match is going to be incredible. It really is. I might have to have a little run through on my game. See how it works out. Luke Gallows now. Big elbow in the gut of Trevor Lee, who catches him with that right hand. And so far it's been an interesting little tag match. It's very back and forth. Nobody's taken full control as of yet. And Trevor Lee just stamping the back of the knees of Luke Gallows. Comes across and brings in his partner Andrew Everett. Gallows now sending Everett into the corner. Spins him round and once again over the top rope. Now crashing to the ground below. Luke Gallows stamping right in the spine. Again, missed the stamp there, and Everett able to roll out the way, sending Gallows into the barricade. And all of a sudden, these two guys are going at it on the outside. Running dropkick to the back by Andrew Everett. And there is a Fez press, followed by the punches. Grabbing a hold of the shoulder now of Andrew Everett. But Everett tripping Gallows over. And this match is to the outside. Referee's counting his way up to the 10, but both guys are back in. Running DDT by Andrew Everett, by Luke Gallows, should I say, on Andrew Everett. Gallows now bringing Everett back up to his feet and has him throttled. Takes him up into a chokeslam. Again, just bringing Everett back up to his feet. And how much more damage can Gallows do here as he sends it across to his corner? There's the tag. Are we going to see the Magic Killer? Let's see if this tag team finishes have been my real bane so far in this game. There's the Magic Killer. There's the pin by Anderson. Gallows takes out Trevor Lee, and there's a victory for the club. And the Magic Killer seems to work pretty well, actually. So I just banged my filter into the microphone there. I apologise. Yeah, the Magic Killer seems to work okay because of the speed of it. So I'm pretty happy with that, and it's a good win there for the club against Dynasty. So going to give them a nice few ranking points there. Hopefully push them forward in the rankings, and potentially we can see PJ Tovey maybe giving these guys a better opportunity in the future. We do actually have a tag team #1 contendership match lined up for next week. I completely forgot about that. So next week we are actually going to see the club taking on Sumerian Death Squad, and the winners will go on to face off against the Hardys at our next pay-per-view, Cruel Intentions. And our next match here this evening is going to be some women's action. Ivelisse takes on Cherry Bomb. And here we go then, women's action here live on Mayhem. And Ivelisse, of course, a former Mayhem Women's Champion, takes on Cherry Bomb, someone who's actually done pretty well so far in this universe, May, but not really been given an opportunity at any point in time to go for a championship. And who knows, a victory here against Ivelisse could really give Cherry Bomb the push that she so desires. As Ivelisse just stalking around the ring now. She means business, she always does. A real woman to be twirled with there, really. She's just incredible, isn't she? She really is fantastic. This is a really loud shout outside my house. They're going. Yeah. That's weird. Who just parked outside my house, shouted really loud and disappeared? That's weird. But here comes a Cherry Bomb, of course, Ali, if you do watch TNA. Quite a good core, actually. Really good core. It's not very often the female cores are that good on this game. I don't know why. I don't know if they're a bit more difficult to create, maybe, I'm not sure, but hopefully, hopefully we can get some really good ones as well on 2K18. I'm assuming on 2K18 there's actually going to be a lot of people that we don't need the cores for, because there's going to be a lot of new women on the game, and I think we'll try and utilise as many as we can that are on the game and try and reduce the cores. I think that's going to be the same for the male as well anyway. Of course, we are being promised, well, it's been rumoured a roster of roughly 200 people, which if we do get, we won't need many cores at all, I don't think. At the moment, we're struggling with 5 shows as it is to get everyone a match. So if we set up another 100 cores, well, of course, we'll have the main people in there still. Bullet Club, Zack Sabre Jr., all the main ones will still be there, but a few of the buffers that we're using at the moment probably won't be so needed because we're going to have so many people on the game already, including legends and so forth. I'm hoping we've got to bring in a 6th brand. We could bring in a 6th brand if it comes desperate, but I wouldn't necessarily want to bring in a 6th brand. Might be a little bit too much. But no, you never know. It could end up becoming something we need to do in 2K18. But then, of course, if we did do that, it would mean that we'd have to spend even more time between pay-per-views. Because I'm only going to ever... I think I'm enjoying the schedule at the moment. I think one video every 2 days is probably about right for me. I don't think... I've done it before. I've done a video every day, and it just became so difficult for me to record and get everything ready. It became a bit of a chore. So, doing one video every other day, I think, is definitely the best way forward for me. And it means that we're getting some good content as well, I think. It gives me a bit more time to plan the shows out and to make the videos. Before, when I was doing a video every day, you sort of have to rush through just for the sake of getting the video made. And you end up with really dodgy content sometimes. And sometimes when you don't feel like recording a video, you have to record a video. And it just means that sometimes you're not quite in the right mood. And it comes across, I think, in the commentary and that. So I think this is definitely the way to go. Big clothesline there by Cherry Bomb on Ivelisse. This will be a massive win here for Cherry Bomb, like I said. It would definitely push him... Push him? Definitely push her into that championship picture. Sidewalk slam now by Ivelisse on Cherry Bomb. Stamp on the arm as well. And just wrenching back at the neck of Cherry Bomb with the legs hooked in as well. But Cherry Bomb breaking free. Ivelisse catching her though. Back elbow by Bomb. Catching Ivelisse into the X Factor. Doesn't go for the pin though. Oh, nice crucifix bomb there by Ivelisse. And now again, just hooking in that submission, just locking the leg in and wrenching back at the neck of Cherry Bomb. Eventually, this is surely going to be enough to make Cherry Bomb tap out. Ivelisse now, fall-away slam on Cherry Bomb. Ivelisse stalking the grounded Cherry Bomb and slowly gets back up to her feet. Into that diving Hurricanrana, hooks the legs for the pin. Referee's really slowed down. 1, 2. Oh, I need a 2 count. Referee was very, very slow down there. Ivelisse though in control. Stalking the grounded Cherry Bomb. Gets on top, looking for the sunset flip bomb. There's the pin. 1, 2. Still only a 2 count. What is it going to take here for Cherry Bomb to stay down? She gets around the back of Ivelisse now. Big German suplex. Pretty good match here, actually. I'm enjoying this one. Cherry Bomb with a big boot into the gut. Now just bringing Ivelisse out the hard way, dropping her into that power bomb. Cherry Bomb went for the ace crusher there, but Ivelisse now catching her. Taking her in for... Look like she's going to go for a fisherman's, but Cherry Bomb rolls her through into the quick pin. 2. Oh, only 2. And Ivelisse rolls it back through. Oh, and again, it's so close. Really good match. Really good match. Oh, I've been done over here. My computer's gone crazy. My computer's gone crazy. I've got some stuff going on. I've got that horrible thing on my computer where it's been taken over. I've been taken over by a dodgy extension. Get away. And that's the win there for Cherry Bomb. Picks it up and... Oh, it's bloody computer. No. Screw you. Can you hear this? Click the add button to install this extension. No. Go and suck my balls. Installing your crappy extension. Right, I'm back in. So great victory there by Cherry Bomb, and that is definitely going to force it into that Women's Championship picture. Of course, we already have a women's match set up for the pay-per-view already, but moving into next month, Cherry Bomb surely must be in PJ Tovey's mind to get himself, a championship match. The match already set for the pay-per-view is going to be Asuka, who's been the women's champion for some time here in Mayhem. She lost the belt, of course, at the last pay-per-view to Sasha Banks, and that is going to be a one-on-one match between Asuka and Sasha. Which will be very interesting to see, I think. But a massive win here for Cherry Bomb. And this could be the start of something very, very special for this young lady in the SWE universe. I'm getting spammed by all sorts of crap here. There we go. I'm ready. I've got it back. I'm back in control of my computer. Woo! Just in time. Great win. I'm really happy. I'm a big fan of Cherry Bomb. I have been since I've seen herself and Pepper Parks work in Combat Zone Wrestling. So as advertised earlier on this evening, we are going to see Finn Balor taking on the debuting Rey Mysterio Jr. here as well. And here we go then. So earlier on we saw the club, Gallows and Anderson, pick up a victory over Dynasty in tag team action. Can Finn Balor build upon that with a victory for himself here this evening as well against Rey Mysterio? Like I said, Rey Mysterio debuting here on Mayhem. Did join a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of the month with a trade for Kota Ibushi. I was very happy with that trade. I think both of us were, really. Although PJ Tovey is a massive Kota Ibushi fan as well, he just sort of felt that Kota didn't really suit this roster so well, and it was better, I think, for all round for Kota to be placed on one of the higher flying brands, such as Octane or Adrenaline. Eventually, I managed to persuade him to let me have him, and of course that meant that Rey Mysterio Jr. could come to this roster. And again, PJ Tovey's roster here is quite classical roster. It's very Attitude Era-ish, and to have the fast pace of Rey Mysterio Jr. here as well, I think is going to be beneficial for PJ Tovey, and it's going to help him really develop a few interesting matches, including a good match he's already got penciled in for the pay-per-view, of course, Cruel Intentions in a couple of weeks' time. That is going to be Jericho teaming up with Rey Mysterio Jr. to take on Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Now that is going to be an incredible match, and that is, like I said, scheduled for our Cruel Intentions pay-per-view in a couple of weeks' time. It's actually the end of next week, isn't it? So, we've got the Octane pay-per-view coming up for you next week, or this week. Then after that we've got a full week's worth of shows, and then into the Mayhem pay-per-view. So we're not far away, actually. Of course, we're bringing in Carnage. It just means that everything's pushed back a couple of extra days because we've got that extra brand to deal with, haven't we? But there you go. And Rey Mysterio Jr. here making his entrance, ready for his first match here in Mayhem. It's going to be a good match, this one, I think. Very good match, I think. Both guys will be desperate for a win. Finn, of course, former television champion, lost his belt at the pay-per-view, last pay-per-view, against Seth Rollins. Will be hoping to get himself back in the championship picture pretty soon. And Rey Mysterio, like I said, making his debut on this roster. He knows how important it is to start things off with a victory and potentially get himself into some sort of championship picture as well. Could be a big win here for either of these two guys. I'm not quite sure who my money's on for either, to be honest with you. It's got to be a first time meeting of these two as well. There's Rey just walking circles now around Finn Balor. So, see Finn just staring right at Rey. There's a lot of discontent here between these two by the looks of it. So Finn Balor takes on Rey Mysterio one-on-one in Mysterio's first ever match in Mayhem. The bell goes, we are underway, and straight away Finn catching Mysterio with the flatliner. Be nice if Rey Mysterio was on 2K18 as well, because I think he is one of the big problems. There's a few people in this game. Now, of course, if you don't know already, if you're like me and you've got all 100 cores downloaded and you're often switching and changing between those 100 cores, you'll know there comes a problem with logos. Logos is a right pain in the backside. Now, the better the core, normally the more logos it has because it's got more detail to it. Rey Mysterio's got so many logos. Oh, it's unbelievable. And having him on the game would be fantastic. Now, Rob Van Dam, somebody who's on the game this year on 2K18, has already been announced. If you get the deluxe edition, you get Rob Van Dam and Batista. Both those guys are going to be very helpful because at the moment we've got them both downloaded as cores. And it's a lot of logos because if you look at Rey's attire, all of his logos, his tattoos, everything like that, it becomes a lot of stuff to have downloaded. And the same with Batista, he's covered in head to toe in tattoos, and all of those have got to be downloaded separately. So it's good to have those two guys in the game. Having Rey Mysterio would be great, but having Rob Van Dam, he's got a lot of logos to make up his attire, so that's great. Plus it means we're going to get Rob Van Dam's music, entrance, moveset, and everything, which is pretty cool. I can't wait to see this roster. That's the annoying thing. And we are in August now. Normally they start to give us some sort of indication around about August. Normally around about SummerSlam they start to give us some indication of what we're going to see. Which would be pretty cool. I just can't wait to see it. I really can't. I'm so excited. As soon as we know the roster, then we can start to plan out what we're going to do, and I'm hopefully going to try and drag PJ Toby up here to do a draft pretty quickly into 2K18's release. We won't have many cores on that draft, but I don't think we're going to need them to start off because we're going to have so many people on the rosters anyway. Mysterio now diving head scissors on Finn Balor. Mysterio now with the arm, just pinning it back. So he got planned here, just stamping on the arm now. Rey though catching Finn with an arm drag takedown. Finn now with this sunset flip, the quesadora, should I say. And now Finn slowly taking control of this match, and it's interesting to see what sort of effect that Gallows and Anderson might have at ringside. At the moment they've not been too iffy. Of course Finn Balor didn't get involved in their match either earlier, but that's what you always feel with stables like this and groups that do come out to each other to the ring. It's generally you do see some little bit of unfair advantage coming from that, don't you? But at the moment we're not seeing that much here from the club. As Rey with a knee straight to the face of Finn Balor. Now Rey over the top of the ropes, willing Finn back up to his feet. Rey now springboard, went for it, and Finn managed to dodge it. Big overhand punch there by Finn, but Rey breaks free. Rey with the forearm to the back, and Finn, that never works, does it? I don't think Rey's ever going to hit a 619 this universe mode, solely because, I know, here we go, Anderson is up on the apron, distracting, well, I think he's trying to distract Rey Mysterio, but the only person he's really distracting here is the referee, and that might be a good thing there, as Finn was being pinned, and the referee did not see it. Rey breaks that, and here we go now, again, Anderson here just distracting Rey Mysterio. Rey right up in Anderson's face. Finn spinning Rey round. brings him back into a hurricanrana of his own. Now bringing Ray back up to his feet. Finn send him into the corner. We've seen this before. The big drop kick. Boom. And Finn going to go for the head scissors. Thought he might have been potentially thinking of going up top for a coup de grace. But decided against it. Now he is looking to go up top for the coup de grace. Finn Balor lines him up. Coup de grace, the double foot stomp. There's the pin. 1, 2, and no, Ray kicked out. Finn can't believe it. Finn heading up top once again. Surely he's not got another coup de grace saved up already, has he? Another big splash on Rey Mysterio. Stamping on the arm now. And Finn just needs to try and finish Mysterio off. But Mysterio playing possum, catching Finn with a jawbreaker. There's a big overhand right now, looking for that unprettier, and hits it. Or the kill switch, whatever you want to call it these days. Referee trying to make the count, but Carl Anderson distracting the ref. Makes you wonder how much more of this the referee's going to take before he takes action against Carl Anderson, because he has been involved in this match a few times now. Ray with a monkey flip out of the corner. Ray now bringing Finn back up to his feet. Into the turnbuckle he goes. Ray goes up top. Seated senton, ducks a clothesline into a springboard crossbody. Now the wheelbarrow bulldog. Ray now bringing Finn back up to his feet. Hooks him in for that sunset flip bomb and hits it. 1, 2, and 3. And Rey Mysterio is victorious in his debut against Finn Balor. That's another very interesting result here. Not really what I was expecting, especially after Finn hit that coup de grace. I thought this match was done and dusted there and then, but evidently not. Finn Balor had more to give, and eventually Rey Mysterio had much more to give, and Finn not able to survive. That's a really confusing sentence, wasn't it? I said Finn by mistake, and it just went all got a bit out of hand from there on. Ray had more to give. Ray's resilience was fantastic and managed to finally hook Finn in for that sunset flip bomb. And I'm surprised in this one, to be honest. Especially since Finn hit his finish maneuver and Ray never did. That's not normally the way this game works. Normally the game only normally works with finisher maneuvers. But there you go. Great win here for the debut in Rey Mysterio Jr. And here we go into our main event of the evening. Like I said, it is going to be time for a debutant here this evening, but he'll be facing off against Mr. John Cena. Now, of course, if you didn't see last week's episode, we did announce that there is going to be a massive triple threat match at the Cruel Intentions pay-per-view in a couple of weeks' time, which is going to involve John Cena, Hulk Hogan, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. A triple threat throughout the ages, that one. And that is going to be a massive, massive match. That is at the Cruel Intentions pay-per-view in a couple of weeks' time. But who this evening is going to be John Cena's debutant opponent? That's what I'm looking for, opponent. Well, it is somebody who I may have let slip earlier on. We have on the game that before now we did not have. It is somebody brand new to SWE, but somebody who will definitely be in our SWE 2K18 universe mode. Any ideas yet? I'm pretty sure most of you would have got it by now. He's part of the deluxe DLC version of 2K18. Part of John Cena's career in his showcase mode, I'm assuming that he's going to be getting. He is a man who had a run a couple of years ago after returning at the Royal Rumble. Was supposed to have a one-on-one match at WrestleMania against Randy Orton until the Yes Movement began and Daniel Bryan was added to that triple threat main event. You must have got it by now. A man who has been in the Guardians of the Galaxy film and James Bond film as well? Yes, of course it is. It's the Animal Batista joining the Mayhem roster. Again, somebody who I think is going to be a great asset to this roster. Somebody who I think is... I think we'll have some pretty good matches against the likes of Brock Lesnar. Of course, we saw Bobby Lashley debut last week as well. Matanza Cueto potentially as well. You look at Brian Cage and Michael Elgin. A lot of big, heavy-set guys here who can put on some cracking matches. And I'm thinking that Batista is really going to strengthen this main event picture. And of course, if it wasn't for the fact of Matanza Cueto destroying Brock Lesnar last week in their main event match, this potentially could have been a #1 contender match in its own. But we'll see who gets the points here, and depending on who does get the points, it's definitely going to help them out moving into next month. So John Cena takes on the debuting Batista. The bell goes and we are underway. And Batista straight away in with the strength and the snap suplex on John Cena. Batista now bringing Cena back up and dropping a knee straight in the back of his head. Now a boot in the back as well. Batista sending Cena off the far side. And Cena yet to get any offense at all. And Batista with that black hole slam. And now Cena does finally get some little bit of control. Tripping Batista over and dropping a couple of stomps in the back and dropping an elbow there as well. And I think that's what Cena is doing. He needs to keep Batista grounded for as long as he can, because Batista on his feet is a dangerous concept for anybody. A lot of strength, able to really just throw you around the ring as he wishes. Cena clattering through Batista, and now Cena DDT to the ankle of Batista. Dropping an elbow into the inside of the knee of Batista as well. Cena bringing Batista back up to his feet. And catching that big stiff clothesline. So yeah, this is going to be part of, I'm assuming, the Cena Showcase mode. Based on the fact that these two guys are on the Deluxe Edition. Of course, Batista and Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam, of course, is going to be the, what was it, one night only pay-per-view? Was it one night only pay-per-view? I can't remember what it was now. The ECW one about 2005-ish, where he faced off against Rob Van Dam and Cena for the WWE Championship. That's pretty cool, and I'm assuming Batista's going to have some sort of match in there as well. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really good, and hopefully they must have improved the game by a lot, because judging by the money they're asking for this new game, it has to be improved. It has to be. Because last year's game was absolutely shocking when it was released. It was so underdeveloped and it was so not ready that I just felt so ripped off. And I'm hoping this year the price has got the Deluxe Edition. I'm going to buy the Deluxe. I'm not going to get the Cena Edition because it's $160 and I can't afford that. The Deluxe Edition is $80. And it's only digital as well. That's about £60, £70 in the UK. It's yeah, it's digital version as well, so I don't get a physical copy of the game or anything. It literally just gets downloaded onto my PlayStation. And I'm just feeling myself £70 for nothing physical whatsoever. They have to have really made the content fantastic, surely. There must be some big improvements to the universe mode, big improvements to the AI. We know we're getting 8-man matches now, which is something we haven't had for a very long time. Have we have 8-man matches before? Then we have, you know. I think this will be the first year we're going to have 8 men in the ring together. But they need to get the AI right for it as well. You can't just get 8-man matches and just hope it's going to work, because it's probably not. Because at the moment 6-man matches don't work very well. So they need to make sure they have got that improved. Also, I did read some a while ago, I don't know if this is true or not, but I read somewhere a while ago that people will now work together in Royal Rumble. So, for example, if Matt Hardy comes out in the Royal Rumble, then Jeff comes out as well. Then Matt and Jeff will try and work together as much as they can to eliminate other people, which is fantastic. It's a nice, simple little thing, but it makes a massive difference to the actual universe mode and that stuff as well. So, we'll have to wait until we get some more details. At the moment, we know literally nothing about the game yet. We've got very limited amounts of knowledge. And I just want to see what happens as time goes on. Like I said earlier on, normally around about SummerSlam is when they start to announce some of the rosters and some more of the little bits and bobs. I've been watching the FIFA one earlier today. There's been a FIFA stream showing you a lot of the new content in FIFA, and that gets released in September, so we're not far away, I would hope. I know it was a couple of years ago, and a year before that, I think they were doing, they announced the full roster at the SummerSlam Access. And last year they changed and started going for this Suplex City thing, didn't they? Where they released a picture every Monday for like 6 or 7 weeks, and those people on that picture were the new people on the roster, so that's pretty cool as well. So hopefully we do get something soon. I would like to. Like I said, it's just so important for myself and PJ Toby to start to pre-prepare for what we are going to do in the universe mode, to make sure we can get seamlessly from 2K17 to 2K18 without too many problems, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content in the process. We'll probably go back and do some more run. The random match series sort of dies a little bit of a death, and that's mainly because of how much time I have to put into this universe mode. But I think to start things off, possibly we will have quite a few random matches just to try out certain new wrestlers and to try out certain new match types as well. Pin here by Batista, 2. Only a 2 count. Batista now bringing Cena back up to his feet. Takes him up into a jackhammer. Nice. Batista now trying to get a hold of Cena's legs, but Cena playing possum, just kicking him away. There's the pin. 1, 2. Only a 1 count, I think. Cena once again with the head scissors taking Batista down, but Batista slowly getting back up to his feet. Batista now big right hand strike to Cena, catches him in. Are we going to see a Batista bomb? Takes him up. There's the Batista bomb. Into the pin he goes. 1, 2. Oh, hello. John Cena kicked out of a Batista bomb. John Cena freaking kicked out of a Batista bomb here. Breaking news. Batista now trying to get back up, but Cena tripping him over. Cena trying to steal a quick victory. 1. That's only a 1 count. You're not keeping Batista down with a trip like that, surely. Bloody motorbikes. Cena now dropping an elbow right into the spine of Batista. Again, another elbow in the spine. Cena trying to bring Batista back up, but Batista tripping Cena over. Now working down that arm, just stamping right on the elbow. It's going to be painful, that bad boy. Batista slamming a boot right in the back of the head of John Cena. Again, just more elbows right in the spine. Batista once again, another jackhammer on John Cena. 2 and 3, and Batista picks up a victory in his opening match here in Mayhem and at SWE with a big win over John Cena. So like I've said before, Batista will be part of our 2K18 universe mode. So, and as I've also said before, everyone who's in 2K17's universe mode will carry their ranking points forward into 2K18. So Batista knows he's got a couple of months here to really build himself up to a point where he can strongly challenge for the championship straight away in 2K18. Why not? What a great win here for Batista. Not a great time though for John Cena. He's not had the best of times so far on Mayhem. And I know PJ Toby might be open to a trade with John Cena, so I might be able to see if I can potentially talk him into something. Who knows? So Batista is victorious here in your main event of Mayhem. Of course, we've only got one more show now before our next Mayhem pay-per-view. So next week we will discover who our #1 contendership for the Tag Team Championships and the Television Championships is going to be in 2 massive matches. No more debuts for you next week, though, I don't think. Oh, there might be one, actually. I think there is a debut next week, actually. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. This might be someone who's already been... No, we have got a new debut next week as well. My God, there's so many debuts. So many debuts. Potentially 2 debuts, actually. So be sure to keep an eye out for that as well. But, of course, I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, like and subscribe and all that other good stuff. And I will see you again in a couple of days' time for our next episode of Octane. Bye.